I don't really look that fresh. I need coffee. Wait. Okay, that's better. Okay, welcome back, friends. If you're new here, my name is Gita Lighthouse. I am the girl who moved to Norway, and all my channel is basically related to different things about Norway, and in most cases these are the things that are not so popular and not so well known, yet it's interesting to know that. If you're a curious person, press that subscribe button. Anyways, for those who know me for a longer time already, you might be confused about the surrounding area. Yeah, this is a different kitchen, but it's still mine. I have some big news. I moved. Yeah, so now I'm literally living in Bergen Center. It's like a new chapter in my life. I will literally miss Lisa Kloster. Apart from that, I know I do not look very fresh. Apparently, like who moves during the Halloween time? It's me. I'm the problem. You know, for those who didn't know, it was a reference to Taylor Swift. So we moved the last 2 days and I do not look very fresh. I beg your pardon for I beg your pardon for that. And yeah, so I don't know if this setting is gonna change, but this is my new kitchen and I don't want to change, I guess, so much from my previous settings. I want to still do it in kitchen. Maybe I will do like some storytelling while I'm cooking. Would you be up for that? Anyways, the intro has been so long. Let's just start the topic. And today we are going to talk about witches in Norway. For many people around the world, witches is like basically a part of some kind of entertainment. We have read a lot of books. We have become fans of different TV shows and movies. But the thing is that we don't realize that a couple of hundreds of years ago, witches were a part of history, a very dark history, and there were different sad things happening to these people who were kind of being witches or were considered as witches. I mean, let's be honest, if we look at the population right now, like every second person could be considered a witch. So many people are into like esoterics and doing different self-healings and stuff. And, you know, like if those people would live now who were like punishing witches of those times, they would be like getting really crazy because all of us are witches. Like even I do know a lot about herbs because my grandma taught me about them, and I know which herbs can heal different things, like when you're cold and stuff. So basically, I could also be considered a witch. And so, as I said, today's story is going to be about Norwegian witches. And basically, the peak of witch hunting in Norway took place at the end of 16th century up to 17th century. And today's video will be dedicated to one of the most famous witch trials in Norway, which took place in the remote place of northern Norway. And in different sources, in general, it is referred as Vardø witch trials. There is a place called Vardø. I hope I pronounced it correctly again, sorry. And this place is located in the county of Finnmark in Norway. And it is believed that by the end of the 16th century up to 17th century, around 140 witch trials were held in this Finnmark area, and around 90 people were condemned to death because they were accused of being witches. The witch trials were so popular and common in that area that allegedly at one point there were no families that were not influenced by some kind of witch stuff happening. They were either prosecutors, either they were accused of being witches themselves, or they were called out to trials as like witnesses. So all of them were like boiling in that big witch kettle. So throughout the period of the end of 16th century up to 17th century, there were like tremendous number of witch trials happening. People were just like, oh, she's a witch, let's go to the trial. Oh, she's a witch or he's a witch, let's make a trial and stuff. But one of the like most legendary, most popular was the Domen trial, which took place from 1662 up to 1663, and 30 women in that trial were accused of being witches. Allegedly, that winter when these trials were taking place, that was a really harsh and cold winter. As I mentioned before, it's the northern part of Norway. So I believe like somebody told, it's so cold, let's burn some witches. And then the other said like, yeah, let's do that. Let's put up some fire. Maybe we will get warmer. Sorry for my irony, but it is a stupid situation with all those witch trials during those times. Like, you could accuse anyone. And so this famous trial called the Domen trial took place in a small fishing village called Domen, which is very close to the Vardø area that I was mentioning at the beginning as one of the places that had the most witch trials ever in Norway, I guess. Many of the accused women told the court that they were celebrating, dancing, and drinking with the Satan. And one of the women, her name was Ingeborg Ivarsdatter, which means Ingeborg, the daughter of Ivar, said that she and her adult friend, both of them, transformed into cats in order to escape the incarceration. And they went on to celebrate Christmas with Satan. First of all, really, do tell me, am I the only one who feels like this sounds too weird for me? I am not very strong into religious details, but I do know that Christmas is about celebrating Jesus being born. And what the heck would devil do with a witch? And why the heck would devil celebrate Christmas with a witch? Which is basically devil with a witch celebrating Jesus being born. Aren't like Satan and Jesus the opposite? Something is not sticking in my brain there. Maybe somebody can help me, but it doesn't sound logic. Honestly, I do not believe that all of these things any of these women said were coming out of free will. Like, any of us have seen like some kind of movie or TV show or read a book where they show how people made these kind of witches to confess. Like, basically they were torturing them and making them tell the stuff that they wanted them to tell. I understand that there were like adult witnesses in those trials, but the grossest thing that I read was that they also brought in some children that were like sons and daughters of previously executed women and men. And they were like putting them in the courtroom as witnesses. They took them out literally from celebrating Christmas to come and like serve as witnesses in these trials. Children, they do not have that kind of like logic thinking yet. They haven't developed like an adult thinking, and they can be easily manipulated. So I doubt that a child can actually be considered as a very accurate like witness in any kind of trial, even if their parents have already been like burned or I don't know, like punished as being witches. I don't think that children are the best sources you can rely on while making a decision about other people whether they are witches. Now, how did the Domen trial ended? Oh, by the way, you also have to know that this is allegedly the largest single witch trial in Scandinavia. So this is a big thing that I'm telling you right now. That being said, as I mentioned before, there were 30 women put on this trial, and as a result, one of them was punished with service at the workhouse, whatever it means. I guess she had to work in really harsh conditions and doing hard work until she died. 2 of the women were tortured to death, and we go back to the things that I was telling you about. They were torturing them in order to get out the confessions. And the last 18 women of these 30, can you guess what happened to them? Yes, so welcome to the stage. The most common way how to get rid of witches. Burning alive. Oh, I tried really hard. I hope it worked. And so they made this theater-like burning of witches in Vardø, making a history out of it. A history for witch hunting in Norway and also in Scandinavia, as I mentioned before. Thankfully, at one point, all of this witch hunting ended when this guy, he became a judge in Vardø area. The guy's name was Mandrup. Oh, I thought I'm gonna remember it. Sorry. Mandrup Pedersen Schönebøl. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So this guy, he was like, heck no. Burning people alive based on rumors? No, this is not gonna work anymore. Can I hear some applauses now? Yes, we have a smart person in the hood. Yes, finally! This guy was very revolutionary. So he was going against the public opinion. He was going against all of the legal authorities and people who were really into this. Let's go and burn anyone who is supposed to be a witch or accused of being a witch. And at the end, he changed all of the legal bases so that nobody could actually burn anyone who was accused of being a witch. So good. Now we are going more towards the civilized world, Now, what is happening now in that place in regards to witches? So the thing is that in 2011, in that Vardø, they opened some kind of a monument or memorial called Stelneset Monument. And this is to commemorate all of the people who were tortured and punished during the Vardø witch trials. The memorial was designed by French-American artist Louise Bourgeois, I hope it's correct pronunciation, and Swiss architect Peter Zumthor. It was the last major work of Bourgeois, who died at the age of 98 in New York just a few months before the memorial was opened to the public. The memorial is in two parts. A 100-meter-long memorial hall communicated the stories of the victims, written by historian Liv Helene Willumsen, based on original court records. The other building, a mirrored cube, contains an evocative burning chair. The nearby mountain Domen, which is believed or alleged to be the place where all of the witches of the area were usually going to meet and do all of their rituals and stuff, like the witchy things. In that place, nowadays, they have built a nice shelter, and people who are going on hikes or walks or whatever, they can just sit there and enjoy the ocean view. So, all in all, I'm just gonna take a sip of coffee. I hope you have one too. This is the story of the mass witch trial in the northern Norway. And actually, I have prepared a second part for you, again about witches. And now we're gonna talk about specific case, which is a little bit mind-blowing, yes, and it also took place in Norway, and it's about witches. It's with all the details and what people were saying on the court and what actually happened. So it's very interesting. So let me know if you are up for the second part, because I really want to do that. And I also have prepared some other stories, even about ghost ships from Norway. Exciting, right? So yeah, as always, press those likes, subscribe to the channel, share this video with everyone who would be interested in watching it. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being so into my channel. I'm very happy about anyone who's discovering my channel. As always, I'm very happy to have discussions at the comment section, so make sure you write down a comment. Talk to me! That being said, stay safe, stay happy, and see you next time!